Stinishedit is recorded on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people listening.
We acknowledge the long history of storytelling undertaken on this land.
Welcome back to
I thought I was doing the intro this week.
Oh, you want to?
Nah.
Welcome back to Stinishedit, the
will,
podcast
though,
where we
if you ask
review
me
the thing.
nicely.
Let's do it in canon, so you're like one or two words behind.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. I thought you meant in canon is like it's true to the law of Stinishedit.
No, I mean like let's do it while being launched from a cannon.
World.
We just put on a lapel mic and we go to a circus who don't have any insurance and we launch ourselves out of a cannon while we do it. Ready?
Okay.
Welcome back to Stinishedit, the podcast where we review the things we've started,
the
finished,
podcast where we
and
talk
what we're
about
looking
the
forward
things
to.
that we start and finish and what we're looking forward to.
My name is Reuben, and there's Elle Woods News.
My name
With me,
is
as always,
Jett.
is Jett.
Mine and what?
That went great.
I think it went pretty well.
Me too.
Speaking of well,
Yep.
Elle
Woods.
is a similar name.
It is.
And Elle Woods, you said there's Elle Woods News. I'm
It's an
intrigued.
Elle Woods prequel TV show.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I want this.
No, bad idea, right?
Prequel TV show is in like her time in her horrible time in high school.
Yep.
Well, being the popular kid, but then also obsessed with the other popular guy. I don't want to see them hooking up in a spa. That's the only thing I know about their high school experience because she references it once.
Now, surely you would set this after and make it a legal procedural and also a rom-com or something.
Oh, that sounds great.
Why are you doing this? Why before?
Is it a musical show?
I don't know. We don't know much about it. I haven't seen anyone say it is, but we are in the new age of just pretend that your thing isn't a musical.
Wait, is it done? I feel like it would be done by NBC. Is it done by NBC?
I'm not sure if it's done by NBC. I'm pretty sure it's produced by, I was going to say Whoopi Goldberg, but I might be thinking of Reese Witherspoon. I think I am.
I think you are.
I am thinking of Reese Witherspoon, and I'll have a, who's making it?
They both have like fun, whimsical names.
They do.
Witherspoon, Goldberg. That one's. I feel like
do you
that's
reckon
weighted
she was-
more to the first. Like Whoopi is the whimsical bit of that.
Do you reckon it was like a week after she was born and she was just like hanging out in the kitchen, like having the nappy changed or whatever? And like, what are we going to call this kid? Like, we love Reese, but we're just stuck for a second name. And they're like, they just looked around at what was near them and they just went like, well, it's Reese with a spoon.
Oh.
So,
Oh. I thought you might say like maybe Reese was a bad child, and so she withered every time they brought out a spoon.
oh my God.
Yeah. Well, it was
Way darker.
Yeah, it was the 50s or the 40s or the 60s.
How old is Reese Witherspoon?
I don't know how old Reese Witherspoon
I
is.
think she's 85.
She could be.
She could be.
She could be any age.
And that's the power of spoons.
Withers. Reese's.
Whoopies.
Yeah. I haven't seen a whoopee cushion in a very long time.
Me too. Me too.
Why'd you hesitate?
Why'd you hesitate?
Sounds like you've set up a whoopee cushion for me to...
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been hovering
I
over
haven't
my
seen-
chair this whole time because I was like, oh, there's this new cushion.
I haven't seen a whoopee cushion in years. Wink.
I'm not going to sit down.
That's fine.
Oh, I sat down.
Look, as humiliating as that is for you, it would have been an awful amount of effort to stay hovering above it like that. In fact, I don't know how you did it for this many minutes.
No. Have you ever stuck a whoopee cushion on top of a whoopee cushion?
I've never done whoopee cushionception. No, that would be inside. I've never done either.
Have you used a whoopee cushion? Were you gifted a whoopee cushion as a
I
child?
believe I was once gifted or borrowed a whoopee cushion.
They smell
I've
weird.
Done it once. Well, they're probably made of something that's not real.
I think rubber. Rubber's real.
Rubber or latex, both not real.
Yeah.
Well, one more real than the other.
They've got like a bit like powdery. I don't know. They're not great. But I think they've disappeared. Like I haven't seen one in years. I don't think they're still making them. I feel like we need to harken back to the day when kids like had a whoopee cushion and rode a unicycle.
I feel like we need to harken back to the days when we used the phrase harken back, because that's a great one.
Harken's good. I use harken all the time.
Yeah, you're always harken and barking, but
Harken
the rest
and
of us aren't.
barken. Yeah. They start implementing. They're like, oh, we've done with the normal uses. Let's like slide it into other words. Harkenen.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's the only one I had. I couldn't give you a second example.
I was thinking like unbelievable. You know how people
Oh.
put like bloody or freaking into words?
Yeah. I don't think harken works as well.
Bloody rageous.
Outrageous.
Right?
Nah, it's not as.
No,
it's
you're
not
not
as-
happy?
Doesn't have a ring to it. No, I think harken isn't as aggressive. Like that's asserting some aggression.
Yeah. Bloody.
Bloody.
Got something to it.
Bleh. What do we do in this podcast?
We talk about something that we've started, and then the other person talks about something that they've finished, and then we both talk about things that we're going to do in the future and some follow-up from the last episodes, because this is like 42. Welcome. If it's your first one, I don't know. You never know. It's always someone.
It's always someone's first.
And hey, thanks for coming.
Hey, if it's someone's first, you gotta take it easy. You gotta go slow. They haven't experienced this before. You know, be nice, be gentle, ask questions, communicate, caress.
So that's why you let me get like 2 words into the intro and then just interrupted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a really welcoming experience.
Well, I feel like you need to give an example of what not to do to show what you should do. If I've ever said one thing about giving, if I've ever once tried to show someone how to do something.
Have you ever once tried to show someone how to do something?
Yeah, that's not the point. But if hypothetically, if I was to ever show someone to do something, I think the way that I would do it is to do the opposite of that thing so that they know what not to do. Be an example, lead by example.
Do as I
of what
say,
not to
not
do.
as I do.
Yeah.
Don't do as I do, because this is how you do it wrong. Don't hold the hammer like this, kids. Ow!
Yeah, no one ever reads the fine print, you know? You see those big signs saying lead by example. And underneath it says of what not to do.
Like when they say, is this, in really small font, and then they say, Australia's cheapest chemist in really big font, and then they have a tiny question mark at the end. Have you seen that?
No.
I don't know if it's Chemist Warehouse or someone else, but they say, is this Australia's cheapest chemist? Question mark?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Do you need the question mark? I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, that's.
You don't want to get sued.
That's mischievous.
It is.
No, I think you could.
But I kind of love it.
I don't think you could do that. I think that is like deceptively wrong. You know,
it's false advertising.
I think it's false advertising.
But it's not unreadably tiny.
Okay.
It's like it could believably be used in the same kind of design palette, but it's small enough that you go.
You're
trying to, but it's kind of this weird uncanny valley where it's like that's big enough text that no one's going to not see it if they're looking at that sign, so you're not tricking anyone. But it's small enough that we all go, why are you trying to trick us? But we're talking about it, aren't we?
We are talking about it. Well, I guess they got us. We should go to that chemist.
They got us, whichever one it is.
Chemist Warehouse, Priceline, the Brunswick, Sydney Road chemist.
Priceline of pink.
On the corner.
Oh, the one with all the Greek writing on the windows? No, that's further up Sydney Road.
Yeah, not that one.
You're thinking of the one on
I'm thinking
Albert
the one
Street
that I
Sydney
go
Road.
to.
Yeah.
The purple one. So to Dox's Chemist. Everyone go. They have generally nice people there. Although, wait, hold on.
Okay.
No. I was going to
go there.
I was going to go into the politics of this one specific chemist.
Let's do it. Why are you shaking your head?
I don't want to put them on blast. Everyone's allowed their own opinions about things.
Ooh. Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. I feel like it's not worth it, right?
It's not worth it.
Hey, I love the chemist. When I moved to Brunswick, I was like, well, I need to find my, I need to find my local supermarket. I need to find my local park. And one of them was like, I need to find my local chemist. What's my local chemist going to be? And I went around and, you do have Priceline, Chemist Warehouse, whatever. Is this the cheapest chemist? Maybe. But I don't care about cheapest. I care about, I want to go in there and feel cared for.
You want them to know your name.
I want them to know my name. Now, I went into this chemist, and the first time I was there was like this old Greek lady just rifling through a tub of like sunglasses, and then at the counter there was like another old Italian man. I don't know why it was just old people, but I like that. I appreciate that in a chemist. Like those are the people who are going there most often. So you want it to be packed with those old
the
people.
experts.
Yeah. And this guy was speaking Italian, and the person over the counter was speaking Italian back at him. And then when I went, they were speaking English. So I was like, they put in effort here. Like they'll speak your language. Mm-hmm. I'm sure in my head canon.
Yeah.
All of the chemists.
Sorry, go on.
All of the chemists are like frantically doing Duolingo when they get a break. Because like as soon as someone walks through the door, look, they're not above making I don't know, ethnic assumptions.
Sure.
They see someone walk through and it's like, this person, I feel like they're Turkish. Shit. All right, Duolingo, let's pop it up. Need to learn a new language. Like I want that level of
That's the dedication you want.
Yeah.
I've been to this canvas multiple times. I've never met these fun characters. I think they appear only for you.
Maybe.
Which, great. It's like the room of requirement.
Yeah.
Like, I just want a local chemist with old people who speak multiple languages. Bang. Do you walk back and forth 3 times out the front before you go in?
Nah.
Huh. Well, there goes that theory.
Yeah. I don't know. What are you requiring? You go in there, you want nothing. Silent experience.
Kind of. Yeah. No,
Really?
I want someone who I can ask a question of. But, like, not often.
Do they ask, hey, have you taken this before?
No, but I don't get any of the heavy duty stuff.
Mate.
You get fun stuff.
I get fun stuff.
I'm like, I'll just take the stuff off the shelf, please.
And then you leave. You steal.
No, actually. But hang on a minute.
Don't steal from chemists. Don't steal from local
Don't steal
chemists.
from an independent store.
Nah. Maybe one of those big
Steal from
ones.
Australia's cheapest chemist, then it really will be Australia's cheapest
That's
chemist.
what I was gonna say. Yeah. We should get on to our topics of the week. Now
But hey, you got a drink this week?
no?
That's okay, I got a drink for you this week.
All right, what's your drink for me?
Great question. Do you want to tell us about it while I get glasses?
What I'll tell you about the drink while you get
I'm handing you the thing.
Okay, because I didn't know what oh my god. Oh
This
what
thing
the
has, it has way too many words on it. It's like gluten-free, dairy-free, lactose-free, coconut, tropical, vegan, organic.
It is an affront to my human eyes.
It's an ugly shape.
It's got a mix of illustrations, some shaded, some flat. It's got a mix of different textures. It's also got some photos.
Look at the lid.
The lid is
What is that?
a gross shape. It's got like a weird ridge at the top, like a plate.
Yeah.
Okay, it says Ayusha coconut, your health, your well-being, your promise. That's in quotes. Coconut strawberry rosé milkshake. Not one word, 2 words. Organic, vegan, dairy-free, and lactose-free.
And that's just the front.
It's a milkshake.
I don't know. Is it?
Oh, they have on the side world's first coconut milkshake.
And then they list 17 coconut milkshakes or something.
Apparently, they have a coconut pineapple milkshake, a coconut tropicana, a coconut strawberry, coconut mango, coconut Swiss chocolate, coconut mochaccino, coconut papaya, coconut blue Hawaiian, coconut pistachio, and pure coconut water and milk. Now, the last time we had any coconut drink on this podcast, you spewed it out your nose.
Awful. It's bad.
Are you spewing it out your nose again?
It's not my plan. I'm not going to make some ridiculous proposition where I'm like, let me drink a quarter of this every time we finish a section.
Do I shake this?
Well, it says milk shake. It says best served chilled.
All right, I'm going to give it a...
Give it a shake, because if it explodes, that's good content.
Ooh, too bad it isn't a visual medium.
I know.
Okay,
Whoop, yup.
drop my phone.
Don't
All right.
worry, everyone. The milkshake's fine.
I'm holding this between
I
my
got
foot
more
and my
hands
leg.
than you. Do you want a hand?
Nope.
Oh, it's got a foil seal on the inside.
Right. Nah. It's fine. Oh no.
Is it fine?
Yeah, it will be. If I get
There's a tab on this side to help
there's a
you open
tab.
it.
There's a tab on both sides. I
Oh,
thought.
okay. Oh, well, the tab doesn't help then.
If this goes everywhere,
Yes.
you've got to clean it up because I've got work after this.
Yeah, correct.
Bloody hell.
Do you want a hand?
Sorry. Harken
hell.
Harken hell. I can't do this. Can you stall for time for me?
I can be stolen for time, stolen for time, na 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 na, stolen for time. I feel like a clown because I have a glass in both hands. I'm juggling for time. This is gonna take quite a long time because Jett cannot open the foil seal. Why is it pink? That's my first question. What
I did
flavor
it,
is this
everyone.
supposed to be?
Also, terrified that you're going to break another one of my glasses by juggling them about.
Oh, yeah. Nah, they're fine.
It's pink because it's strawberry.
Oh, I forgot about. Sorry, there were so many words. I was thinking coconut, and I went, that shouldn't be pink.
Now, the top of the spout of this
Yes.
is also very thick.
Way too thick. It's like
the walls of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to contain radioactive waste in there or something.
All right.
Do you think the whole bottle's that thick? Oh my God.
What?
That was terrifying.
Ooh.
Okay. It's not as thick as a milkshake, but it's more thick than like any other fruit drink would be. I guess because it's coconut milk.
Yes, because it's coconut milk. Is coconut milk like?
Now
I don't know. Less thick, more thick than regular milk? I don't drink it. I've never seen a coconut. I've always wanted to buy a coconut ever since I was a kid so I could crack it open and just indulge in the juices.
Nah. Have you ever been to a Thai restaurant and they give you a coconut to drink? They have a hole in the top and a straw and a spoon.
No.
Oh, you got to try that sometime.
I don't know where the closest Thai place is.
Me neither. You should have found that after you found the chemist. Well, I know where the nearest Thai-inspired places, but I don't think they do coconuts. You could ask your chemist. They would know a person from Thailand, and they could ask them.
All right, give me a glass.
Do you want the slightly bigger one?
I'll take the slightly
bigger one that you brought. Okay.
All right, here we go.
It's not awful.
It's not awful.
I was expecting it to be awful. The flavor changes the longer you.
It tastes a bit tropical, but I think that's a coconutty bit.
Yeah. There's tiny bits of coconut in it, which I don't like to look at. No. Don't think about it. Just keep drinking it.
When I went to sip, I saw like a little bit of floating white. And I was like,
not good.
That's not great. Okay. Well, I don't hate this.
I quite like this.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. I don't know when I'd have it. Like, when do you want this?
Right. Outside of this very specific circumstance, what is this good for?
I think I would have it on beside a pool, lounging beside a pool.
I don't want something quite this thick when I'm beside a pool because I want to go swimming. But I feel.
What the fuck does the thickness of the drink have to do with what you're swimming?
You feel heavy when you go swimming
because of your body. What? Reuben, when I go in the pool, I feel lighter. I float because I'm a fucking human being. And you go into a pool and you're like, wow, this is tiring. This is way worse than lugging my legs about the ground.
I'm not saying compared to walking.
That's what you're saying.
I'm saying compared to if I hadn't drunk this drink.
You said when I go in the pool, I feel heavier.
If I have something like this.
Is
there more of this? We didn't use that whole bottle, did we?
Do you eat before pooling?
Well, you're not meant to, but sometimes I do. Yeah.
I think it's fine. Why would it not be fine?
I don't know. Didn't your parents subscribe to that urban myth that if you can't eat for like half an hour, I can't swim for like half an hour after eating?
My parents subscribe to many urban myths. $14 a month. Get a newsletter though, a little pamphlet. It's like this week we're doing cryptids. We're doing Bigfoot in the woods.
I finished the drink.
Nice. Did you want more of the drink? Is that what you're asking for? No, you take a break from the drink.
No, make me take a break from coconut milk because this is dangerous territory. But yeah, I do want more if I'm honest. But I'll wait. I'll restrain myself like a responsible adult.
I've never swum and had my body hurt after. I've never eaten and then swum and then there's been an issue. However, I have eaten and then gone for a walk and there's been an issue. Another reason why swimming is better than walking. Also, I'm an awful swimmer.
Well, that helps. But are you an awful walker?
No, I'm a very good walker. No,
you're a very good walker,
I'm a very good walker and an awful swimmer.
Interesting.
You ever get a stitch while walking?
Do you think they always come in proportion?
What?
Like, do you have a certain amount of skill and every person is divided between the two? Like, can Olympic swimmers barely stand on their feet? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
get a certain amount of points to allocate.
Slightly closer to neutral than you. Like, I'm not as good at walking, but I think I might be slightly better at swimming.
You think you'll be a better swimmer?
I don't know. Not if I eat first, then I'm stuffed.
We can have a swimming race.
We'll go down to Brunswick Bar, let's have a race.
Yeah. I wonder how good of a swimmer I actually am. I know I'm not.
I don't want to know because I think I'm quite bad.
I know. Okay. We can talk about this another time.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we should start the show.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because now we've had a couple of coming ups leading up into this episode. So you're going to start off with something that you've started, but we've started. And then we'll talk about something fun later.
But we're finished.
How much should we spoil things? Just a quick podcast aside.
What?
Just a quick aside.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the listeners listeners know what you're going to be saying as you started, because we talked about it 2 weeks ago as you're coming up. And then we talked about last week what we finished. So that's the start and end. That's the whole show.
Are you aware that every podcast we release has a title? And in that title are the two major topics that we cover. So it's never a surprise. I know it feels like it when we're making it.
Yeah.
But it's never a surprise. Are you aware of this? They're freaking out, everyone. Their eyes have gone to the side of the room. Their mouth is half open.
I genuinely didn't make that connection.
You've never thought this through?
No. I've always thought that's why I've always avoided saying what it is. I was like, we'll talk about something later. Yeah. Who's just say what it is. Maybe we should start the episodes being like, we're going to talk about this and this.
Maybe. Technically, that's what we do. If you take out all this bit.
Yeah. I always thought it was a big, because we say the thing and then we have a musical
starting
sting.
and then down and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a surprise between us.
Correct.
Sometimes one of us will be like,
Sometimes one of us
finished
doesn't know,
this
and that's
thing.
quite fun.
No, but this week we're talking about Jak X and Wicked. So,
Yep.
so Reuben, what have you started?
Whoa, you'll never believe. I've started Jak X Combat Racing.
Dax, get in the car.
Tell me about Jak X Combat Racing.
With pleasure.
With pleasure. Now, okay, a bit of backstory. For those of you who haven't caught up, Reuben made the deft mistake of, at one point last year, saying, I love the Naughty Dog games, I'm going to play them all. I love The Last of Us. Let me play more video games made by the team that made it, Naughty Dog. I said, great. Well, you should play maybe my favorite series of all time, my favorite video game series, the Jak and Daxter series. Reuben said, all right, let's do it.
And that was my second mistake.
What was your first mistake?
The other thing about I should play all the games.
And you played Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy.
Awful.
You played Jak 2.
Somehow worse.
Somehow worse than... Oh, you're getting me angry. And then you played Jak 3.
Slightly less worse, but only because nothing could be worse.
Okay, but you enjoyed it. We finished it in a day.
I enjoyed that you played half of it for me.
But remember the cars?
Now, yes, the cars. The cars were one redeeming factor.
Remember how it was Star Wars meets Dune?
Yeah, so listeners, this is a video game series that completely changes its identity, much like Sandra D, every game. The first one, Happy Dappy Lucky Schmucky Fairyland. The second one, Dystopian GTA.
Yeah.
The third one, Star Wars meets Dune. And for Jak X, they also completely changed everything again. This time, it's Mario Kart.
It's not Mario. Okay, it's kind of Mario Kart.
In the same way that like Jak 2 is not GTA. They're very different. This is that. Like that's the neurons in your brain that are firing. However, it's way more fun.
Way more fun.
Easily the best one.
I like how this followed the trend of Naughty Dog making 3 games in a series and then a kart racer. Like made Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2, Crash 3, and then Crash Team Racing. And I think that they should have kept going.
Yeah.
I want to see an Uncharted racing game.
Yeah.
I want to see The Last of Us. Just cars that are barely cobbled together.
There's still time for that one.
There is still time.
There's still hope.
So why are you liking this one more than the other games? No
think
platforming?
Because it's more fun.
More fun.
Okay, so they've trimmed the fat completely. They looked at Jak 3 and they said, what's good about this? The bit where you're driving a car, the bit where things explode, and the bit where you feel like you're like winning. And they went, great, we're going to just do those things. There's barely any story, although what's there is pretty funny. There's
Yeah, you're cackling. Every time a cutscene comes up,
Yeah.
you're jumping
Yeah,
in
they're
the
really
seat,
funny.
jumping up and down like, Reuben, you're going to break the couch. And you're like, no, this is my favorite game franchise.
boing, 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 crash. Because the thing is, the funniest parts about Jak and Daxter were always Daxter, or sometimes when Jak was really serious.
Oh, well, what about Crew?
Well, yeah, there was some saying. I feel like it was always okay.
Who's
There
the
was
big
some
floating guy with little legs?
There was some great archetypes in there as well. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of like, now you're going to do this mission, now you're going to do this mission, and that bit was boring. This time they've taken out all of that because you just choose the missions from a list yourself, and there's no cutscenes for like 5 levels in a row. And then they give you just a funny one. And they've brought back all the funniest characters and none of the others, and they're just fun and silly. There's a parrot and like a TV presenter who are both talking about the racing because it's like a big cup that's on, and like a big event, a Grand Prix. And they're just funny and they're fighting for the camera all the time. And everyone, like this is like a death sport. Like this is gladiator racing in cars, but everyone just acknowledges it as normal. Like in this world where everything is horrible anyway, this is what they do for entertainment, and that makes sense.
Yeah, and the presenters are always, like every time that they're doing an interview thing or talking to the camera, they're like, anyways, a lot of these people are going to die. Get ready for all these racers to die. We'll just have one person alive by the end of it. The rest, burnt toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked in the other games, so you got a bunch more cutscenes than you got. I don't know, it loses the role-playingness of, in Jak 2, if you want to get a mission, you'll sometimes like get a phone call saying, hey, go to this place. But it's more often than not, hey, go to this place so you can talk to someone, and then you have a bit of dialogue and it sets the scene and then you go set off on the mission. This, it doesn't have that. really at all. Because, yeah, it is like a mission select screen. Because, okay, in Crash Team Racing, what they had in that, which would have been interesting if they implemented here, was they had an open world, like overworld kind of thing, where you have a map and you have gateways in that map, like big doors sort of things that are the races. So you drive around between choosing your race, and you choose it by driving your car into that area.
They could totally have done that here. Like, they've built so much of the world from the previous 2 games. I would say 3, but it's not. It's just the previous 2 games.
Well, technically it's the same place, blah, 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 blah.
And like now that we're getting into the bigger races further in the game, they're like connecting. So you'll race like from Haven City into the Wasteland or whatever.
Yeah.
So they could have done that because most of it exists. However, I'm glad they didn't, because I want to be racing all the time. It's all I want to be doing, right? It's like they've taken away everything except the core gameplay loop, which is like race, lose, race, win, race, right? And that's good, because that's what I want to be doing.
Now, I think that this game sets itself apart a bit from other races, whereas there's different types of races. Now, Mario Kart, it does have its main, Grand Prix races, and there is like a balloon battle thing where you hit other people and then you destroy 3 of their balloons and then they're dead or something like that.
Oh, yes, yeah, sure.
This steps it up.
Oh,
There's
completely.
a bunch more. What's your favorite race? Because you're saying you like to just do the races.
Right.
A lot of these aren't races.
Right. There's a deathmatch gladiator one. There's like chase the objects around in a kind of open arena. There's one where it's just you racing a bunch of drones and you like shoot as many of them as you can.
Yeah.
Like little computer generated mini cars. There's one called Rush Hour where there's a bunch of cars coming at you and you have to hit as many of them as you can.
Yeah, they're driving the opposite way. So
Yeah.
as you're going, you're hitting like these ghost cars that are worth different points. But yeah, you're trying to ram into as many as you can to get as many points as you can. However, the cars aren't just like ghost cars that will just fly through you and just have to, like as if they were coins in Mario Kart just trying to collect. No.
They'll impact.
They'll hit you.
Yeah.
And also, like, your car takes damage in this. And boy, does the car explode when it takes enough damage.
It's so good. The explosions are so good, and when you hit someone in a really like cool way, you get like an instant replay, which feels so good. And also when you die, you get an instant replay while you respawn, which just also looks cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I ran into the wall again. Cool.
Look at all these parts flying off my car.
Parts flying everywhere. I think another thing that helps is like the artificial dial that the designers have, which is like how fast does it feel? And they just turn that like all the way up. So they're like, you're just never quite processing everything. It's just fast. Like they could make the game feel slower relative by just changing like the distance of things basically. But they're like, no, you're going to fly around that corner and then immediately the next thing is going to confront you. And you haven't processed that thing yet. And also now there's lava and 2 other cars. And also there's instead of a banana peel in this, they have like just mines, just like magnetic mines. That's the sort of step up that we have.
They have like spreads of fire.
Yep,
They have missiles.
Yeah.
They have
Grenades,
bombs.
you just launch 3 grenades and hope they hit someone.
There's a classic blue shell, which is in the Jak and Daxter universe. There's this gun called the Peacemaker, which is like the ultimate gun. It's a purple gun in Jak 2, and you get upgrades for it in Jak 3. Obviously, ironically called the Peacemaker. And that is, like the blue shell, like it shoots off, and if you get hit by it between, how many people are in a race? It's like
6.
It's like 6, right?
Which is a good number.
Yeah. So it's like if you're between the 6th person and the first person, or whoever shoots it, you might get hit by it. But it homes to the first person, destroys them. You got to have that bit of balance. But other than that, it's weirdly like unforgiving, but it feels really good. Like you never feel like you can't do it.
Yes.
But like we don't play racing games.
No.
But we're doing pretty
We're
well.
all right.
With it. We're doing pretty well.
We're all right.
And you're like, I think the deaths, because they are kind of satisfying, even when they happen to you, like you said, you see yourself crash. It does this cool slow mo shot. You don't lose too much time from it.
Yeah.
It doesn't, have to. I don't know. I'm relating this to Mario Kart a lot.
Me too.
But like, if you drive off the track, which you can't do in. No, you can't. Oh. I'm trying to think.
You can in some spots. Usually you'll hit a wall
Yeah.
and take damage or explode. Sometimes you like disappear off and then after like half a second it just counts as a death. Like if you ran in a pool of water or whatever.
Yes, that's right.
But you're going to talk about the ghost thing that pulls you back on the track. in Mario Kart.
In Mario Kart, it's Leica or something. The character who fishes you out and brings you
It
back.
feels bad because
Yeah.
you're watching the rest of the game happen, and it's like this. It's like a shift in the physicality of like always forwards, always drifting. It's like up and over.
And it's also very
bad.
slow.
It's
and
slow.
as you're being dropped down, you're like, I want to go, and there are other cars going past you.
Yeah.
But this just pops you back in.
Already going. I think that's huge. Like it could.
Are you already going?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, that's great.
Which it took me a while to notice, but I was like, you never feel like you're starting again. You're like, that's part of it. Mm-hmm. My favorite type of race is I think they just call them circuit race, the regular one, because there's so many ways to approach it. Like you can just go for there's a blue thing called turbo that makes you go fast. You can just try and win it as a regular race and do quite well, or you can deliberately hang back in second till right at the end, or you can not worry about your position at all and just try and murder as many people as possible, and you'll end up near the front.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to go about it. Mm-hmm. You can be clever with the track and you're drifting and your shortcuts, but at the end of the day, it's just play the game and you'll do all right.
Yeah. I think that it's kind of I want to talk about the eco for a second because that's pretty core to Jak and Daxter. So in Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, you had green eco, which was health, red eco, which was makes your punches more powerful, yellow that shoots fireball, and what was it?
Blue makes you jump?
Makes you go faster, and it's like electricity sort of thing. In Jak 2, where we have the time jump and it's in this dystopian future, we have
guns.
Yeah, it's been put into guns. It's been mechanized. It's been industrialized. So you still have green eco, which is your health, but the red is now this shotgun blast. The yellow is this long range, more sniper kind of gun. You have the blue, which is a very high rate machine gun. And then you have the dark eco peacemaker. That's also then carried over into Jak 3. And then we have Jak X, where they're like, well, it's a car racing game, but they keep that industrialization of the eco where green is still your health, but yellow are the weapons that shoot forwards.
Yeah.
Those will be the missiles. Those will be the grenades. What other ones? There's some really fun ones.
Yeah, there's homing missiles, grenades, a little machine gun, Gatling gun thing. There's the lightning one. There's more than that.
Yeah. But then there's the red weapons, which are more defensive. Those go backwards. Those will be putting mines behind you or putting a cloud of smoke behind you. And then blue is your turbo. So it all works. They've kept it consistent back from the first game where, blue makes you go faster, yellow shoots forwards, red is more close-up, defensive kind of thing.
And dark eco's still there because if you, don't die for long enough and get a bunch of points, you
By,
get dark
destroying
eco.
other vehicles.
Which makes you stronger?
Yeah.
Gives you a bit of health regen?
No. It upgrades all of your weapons. So all of your weapons have, two states. Where let's take
this is great to know.
Do you not know this?
No, because I'm always I'll get dark eco if I play well, and if I get dark eco, I'll do better. It's not something I need to take in consciously.
In the simplest form, the missile weapon that you get, it will shoot 2 missiles normally. When you have the dark eco, have that meter full, it'll shoot 4 of them. It'll double the amount that you shoot, so it'll do more damage, and I think you even get more that you get to shoot. With the red weapon, there's the defensive one where you do a cloud of smoke behind you, that becomes a lightning cloud. So anyone who goes in that will also take damage. So it upgrades all of them. And I think it even upgrades your boost as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of great little maths I've got a red one, I could drop it behind me to slow people down, but that's also the only way to defend yourself from a yellow weapon that's coming at you. So I might save it, or I can see one on the track up there. So I could drop my red and then collect that red, but if I keep this red, I could pick up a yellow or a turbo. And then there's other maths about if you jump or power slide, which is just drift, you get turbo back. So then it's where is it worth losing speed, especially if I already have to somewhere like a turn, in order to get more turbo, and you're just kind of doing that all on the fly, and it just feels right.
Yeah.
It's got that juice that you kind of can't describe.
It feels good. It feels kinetic.
Yeah, it feels kinetic. However, I got some problems with the button mapping, just because it's an old game. But there's just some weird choices.
All right.
Circle to continue.
Yeah.
That's bad. X to accelerate, it's fairly normal, and R2 to boost is great. But R1 to shoot. And
You
so
only
it's
got one finger on that shoulder of
kind of
the
weird to do
controller
both.
normally.
So I feel vindicated from all the years ago when I started gaming. And I just had 2 fingers because I'm like, there's 2 buttons.
Yeah.
There's 2 triggers here. And we've actually had to return to that for some
Yeah.
of the types of races.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ha, I knew it.
Especially those ones where it's just like shoot the ghost cars in front of you. You're just
Yeah.
trying to destroy as many as possible within a certain time limit. So I'm holding down boost on R2 and then like holding down R1 to be shooting as
Yeah.
well. And it feels real weird to be squeezing with the 2, like your pointer finger and your middle finger at the same time. But and I find that because also drift is like square or circle, so I find I'm really putting my hand, just my right hand, in these weird configurations. With the left hand, I think you can.
It's got like 1 button to press.
Yeah.
And that's
Jump?
R1 for red. Or technically there's jump too, but it really doesn't do much.
No, it's really weird. I think I have a favorite race
Okay.
in this, a favorite race type. And I think that
It's not the time trial
I think
one.
it's the time
God
trial.
damn it.
So there are these race types where, it's a time trial. You have to get through, like, most of the time it's like 1 lap most of the time it's like 2 laps within a certain amount of time. So like, okay, great, just go fast, whatever. But there are these time freeze objects around the track that you can grab, like these power-ups, and they'll freeze your time for either like 2 seconds, 5 seconds, or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And this is so much fun because it can feel really frustrating when you're doing a time trial in other games where it's like, I'm just not fast enough.
Right.
I just am not getting it. I'm not turning this corner like quick enough or whatever. But this is like, no, don't take the most efficient route because like sometimes down a less efficient route, if you go all the way to the right of the track here, where you could just go straight forwards, there's a 10 second. There's a 10-second time freeze. And so with this, you're also like boosting the whole time. It really has that. It shows off how fast these cars are and how these tracks are made for just like going fast. And like you were saying before, like it's snap decision making. Yeah. So
I
that's really
wish
fun.
all racing was like this. Like, I'm never going to watch the F1 because it's just like, it's all about engineering and efficiency. And then, like, there happen to be people driving them. I don't understand that as a kind of performance thing. But oh my God, if they had it, you don't have to blow people up, but even some sort of gamified version of this, like, let me have a broad rule set so that I can understand what's going on and see, like, decision making happening, not just car goes fastest wins.
I think, I do think there's probably some nuances there that you're missing.
Yep. But also, add guns.
Hey, apparently they were going to make like a big, like Rainbow Road style track in like Abu Dhabi or something.
That makes sense.
That's like above the city.
God, that's cool.
With car racing.
See, I'd watch that.
But it's terrifying because what if one flips off the track and then like falls? You're just like going shopping and it falls like 10 Ks in the air.
Pretty cool story in your obituary, though.
Oh, yeah. Killed
Crushed by a flying race car. That's pretty good. Do you remember that we started playing Jak X together because we were like, oh, we can play this together.
Yes.
Like, there's a mode for actually racing against each other.
Yeah, that was,
like, traditionally the whole appeal of racing games.
We
However, we're halfway through the game.
So what had happened is you were very burnt out by Jak 3.
You could say that.
And I was in my period of playing Jak and Daxter, the Lost Frontier, which is a game
we don't talk about.
we've talked about.
Well,
I've
we've
been on
talked
this
about, but we
podcast.
don't talk about, if you know what I mean.
Yes. God, how awful. So I was like, oh, I want to get a good Jak and Daxter fix. We had like an evening that we were both home. We were like, oh, we should play a video game.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is my in. Reuben, will you play another Jak and Daxter game if we can play it together? And you said yes. Now it turns out I was misremembering, and you can't play this 2-player to do the story campaign. So we just went in and we're like, oh, we'll take turns for a bit until whenever we unlock the 2-player mode. No. Not how it works. There is a multiplayer mode. I think you can do up to 4 players, but it's it's not part of the story, which is weird, and I'll get onto that in a second. let's just put a pin on, I don't know, friends racing against each other, okay?
Yep.
In the story campaign.
Yep.
Put a pin in that. Throughout the campaign, you do unlock like other like vehicles and ways to customize your vehicles and other characters and things like that to be played in this multiplayer mode. So I think it's good that we're going through the campaign because we get to like unlock all of that. And then if we want to jump into playing against each other at some point, we have all these cool things.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm grabbing that pin.
Okay.
So I think that we should just
Let's talk about ludonarrative dissonance.
Yeah. In the spirit of Naughty Dog, ludonarrative dissonance. For those of you who don't know, explain ludonarrative dissonance.
Sure. So you got ludo game, narrative, right? And so ludonarrative dissonance is when there's a clash between those two things, which is it's not like a plot holes. It's more like when the internal logic or the experience of playing the game does not line up with what you're told is happening. Yeah. And there's always some of this, like in almost every game, there's a way to fail or die, and then you kind of go back and pretend it didn't happen. So with the exception of some games where that's really built in, that's just kind of dissonance that we wave away. We're okay with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like gameplay is prioritized over aligning your experience with the characters exactly. So there's always some. Yeah. But sometimes when it's quite high, players feel it and it feels weird.
A good example that people bring up is actually Uncharted, another Naughty Dog game, where the main character, Nathan Drake, is a treasure hunter, but a lot of the gameplay is like shooting enemies. And so by the end of a game of Uncharted, you've killed hundreds of people. And you're like, glad I got this treasure because now I can put it back in its rightful place, or whatever my Indiana Jones arc is. I'm a good person. It's like, dude, you killed like 400 people, if not more. Like, you're not a treasure hunter. You're a mass murderer at this point. You should be locked up. Put you in a government institution building.
A prison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people to gawk at. So in Jak X Combat Racing, the intro to this game is basically a character from a previous game has died. And
we didn't talk about the plot setup.
Yeah, and so in his will and testament, he's asked for all of these people who are important to him to go to Crass City, a city where they do the races.
The place where they crash, for those not paying attention.
Yeah. And to just basically hear the will and testament because they're involved with it. And so throughout this process, they're hearing the will and testament, and they're also like all having a little bit of a sip to drink. Turns out drink's poisoned.
Yep.
And Crew, the guy who's died, has said, by the way, drink's poisoned, so my last thing that I wanted to happen in my life is I wanted to win this race, and I can't do that. So now that I'm dead, you have to win this race for me. If you win it, you get the antidote.
Otherwise, you're dead.
Otherwise, you're dead.
All of you.
Yeah. So all these characters from the previous games are like, okay, well, shit.
Well,
we need to win this. We're only playing as Jak.
Yep.
But the other characters are racing as well.
Yep.
We have Ashlyn. We have Torn, Sig.
Yep.
Yep.
Lotus.
But like they
Yeah.
So you're racing with all of them. But that means during the races, they're blowing you up.
Oh, yeah.
You're shooting at them.
Bear in mind, there's 6 people in these races, and one of them's you and 3 of them are your friends.
Yeah.
So it's almost exclusively just like killing party members.
I think it varies. I think that sometimes you have less people because we have those the villains. What are their names? Like
UR86?
UR86.
Edgy.
Shiv.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so we got a few other. It's a rotating
Rotating
monster.
and out, yeah.
But still, it's like we have
half the time or something.
We have a shared goal here.
Yeah.
And I'm clearly winning. Like, I've been winning most of these races. If I'm coming first, don't knock me out of the last one to come second.
Yeah.
You're going to throw my score and we aren't going to get the antidote for the poison that we need. Ridiculous.
How many close finishes have we had, though? Like 0.01 second, 0.04 seconds.
I don't know how this game does it.
I don't know how.
But for a large, like, it really keeps the group tight.
Yeah.
Barring some exceptions, where, let's say one of us, not going to name names, but one of us, for whatever reason, just could not get a hold of
Not even close.
what the goal was, what the way the map moved. All of those split seconds decisions that we were talking about was picking the wrong option every time. where they were being lapped by the other people. Barring that, for the most part, you're all kept in a pretty tight-knit group.
Which is weird because there's not that many rubber banding mechanics. So I'm like, you're lying to me, game, but also I don't care if you're lying to me. This is fun.
You really can't tell. And when you're lying, like if it is lying.
Right, like where does it respawn you and where does it respawn the enemies is one spot where I'm like, I reckon they're making that up. But it doesn't matter because I don't see it.
Yeah, if it does rubber band you and you're not seeing it.
Is it really rubber banding? If a rubber band falls in the forest and no one hears it rubber band, did it really rubber band?
If a whoopee cushion farts in the forest, is it really rubber whoopee? Because has anyone ever... If I've ever heard... If I didn't hear a whoopee cushion fart in the forest, did I really hear it?
No, because you didn't hear it.
That's what they're telling me.
Oh, I see what it is.
But that's the real question that we have to ask ourselves. That's what I ask myself every night while I'm going to sleep.
Yeah?
Did I hear a whoopee cushion fart in the forest?
The answer's been no for years.
And I fall asleep before I answer it. But you're not seeing the rubber banding, and also because you are, well, at least from our experience, winning or getting close to winning enough where we'll win a thing after like generally like two or three
goes,
times trying if we
some exceptions.
Yeah. Like it's still really, it feels satisfying. It feels so satisfying winning and you're like, oh shit, that person was just behind me. Like that feels great.
Yeah.
So they've really tailored this, I don't know, hyper racing, like hyper energetic version of racing. Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
Play
Jak X. Just skip to this one. Don't touch anything else.
Will you understand anything?
No, but neither do we, and we played all the rest.
I understand them. You understand
I've
them?
seen shows on Broadway.
Yeah, okay.
Look, they're not complicated. It's not like it's hard to understand. It's just that you won't have the, I guess, like plot and setting context. But guess what? You don't need it because it's a game about racing and nothing else. It's a pure expression of what it is.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin would love this game. He's always on about like get rid of all the other stuff and just make it like the most version of what it is, even if no one in the audience likes it. And I'm like, don't know. But when it's this, when I as an audience like it, make it the most pure expression of that thing that I'm enjoying, please.
Well, yeah, I really feel like what they did is they made this car mechanic for Jak 3 and they're like, well, we really like it so much that, like, I don't think they were going to make a hypothetical Jak X that was Jak. I don't think Jak X was ever Jak 4.
Right.
I think they were like...
But Last of Us was Jak 4.
The Last of Us was Jak 4. I'm aware that The Last of Us could have been Jak 4. I am aware that maybe I would give up The Last of Us to have an actual Jak 4. Imagine if Jak and Daxter was still going.
I can't. Because that would require imagining a world in which The Last of Us does not exist, and that is not a world that I want to live in.
But imagine
I can't.
Pedro Pascal playing Jak.
Well, soon I won't have to imagine someone playing Jak.
And who's the person playing? Who
I don't know. I
played
feel like
Ellie?
it's Chris Pratt.
No, who played Ellie?
Bella Ramsey?
Bella Ramsey is Daxter.
As Daxter? Now I'm sold.
Yeah,
now
right?
I can imagine that world. Just voice acting?
No,
or is it a
no,
live action remake? Just on Pedro Pascal's shoulder.
Yeah. Hanging off.
Tail flying out behind.
Yeah.
I can see it.
It'd be great. Nah, instead we're getting Tom Holland as Jak and maybe Mark Wahlberg as Daxter.
That's right. No, that can't be right.
That can't be right.
It's one or the other. I don't think
You
Tom
don't think
Holland's
they're bringing
Tom
them
Holland's
both?
not acting for a year or whatever he said.
What do you mean? He's literally on, like, in the West End right now acting.
He said he's not doing movies for a year. He said he's not doing something. Maybe he's over.
He
He took a break.
He's doing Romeo and Juliet right now
Yeah, that's right.
on the West End.
He did take a break.
Who is playing Jak and Daxter in the movie? Let's find out. Stolen for time. Stolen for time. Stolen for time. Oh yeah, it's Chris Pratt as Daxter.
Yeah.
That's so
And
bad.
also boo.
That's so bad.
All right, let's talk about Wicked.
Oh, well, you don't know what I've finished.
I mean, what have you... Do you want to tell us what you finished, Jet?
Yeah.
Because none of us know, me or the listeners.
I've recently gone on to see, so speaking of stages, speaking of going to see a show in a theatre district, I went and saw the musical Wicked. Wow! We're off to see the Wicked, the wonderful Wicked of Oz. Boo!
That's great. Why did that not come up earlier?
I don't know.
Wait, that would have been the first thing we thought of.
The Wonderful Wicked of Oz?
Yeah.
Because it's the witch. I would say the Wonderful Witch of Oz. Like
That's not right. It's not the right number of syllables.
We went and saw this for my birthday.
Yeah.
I said last year, I knew when it was coming, and I said at the end in our Oscars, 2023 Oscars, I said, in coming up, what am I looking forward to the most? I'm looking forward to Wicked. Did I know what Wicked was about? No. Have I heard any of the songs from Wicked? Kind of vaguely, but really no.
No.
Was I a fan of any of the actors playing any of the characters in the Melbourne production of Wicked? Also, no. People keep mentioning like stage actors, like Australian stage actors,
right.
who are in musicals and plays and stuff. I'm like, I don't know who any of these people
That's
are.
not how it works. You go and you see them and you
see
get
the character.
surprised and you see the
Oh.
character and you look at them and you're like, wow, that person's great. And you look at their name and then you forget and you never check the program again. And then you go back to the next musical and it's like a fresh surprise. I've seen many, many musicals in Melbourne over the years. No idea who's who.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the same people the whole time. Maybe it's a completely different cast. I've never seen a repeat. I couldn't tell you.
The person who played Elphaba could have been the same person that played Hamilton.
Literally.
Like, genuinely. And I would, if you told me
especially
that.
with the makeup.
Yeah, if you were like, actually, did you know this
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
cool thing? I'd be like, shit, really? That's wild.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Didn't expect it, but makes sense.
Anyway, what's Wicked?
Wicked is a prequel? Question mark.
Yeah.
It's a story. It's the true story. It is a true story
A true story
of The Wizard of Oz. Which it was originally written in 1995 by someone. I don't know who.
I don't know.
It was a book.
Some guy.
But it was based in the world of The Wizard of Oz, where we all know the story of The Wizard of Oz. I'm not going to explain
Don't do The Wizard of Oz.
But in this story, it's basically, hey, what if you know the Wicked Witch of the West that we all know and love, and the good witch, is she a good witch?
She's a good witch. Of the East, or is it just good witch Glinda?
Glinda the Good.
Yeah.
Is she technically a witch?
Yeah.
She's more like a fairy.
Gandalf the fairy.
Gandalf the fairy. Galandalf.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much.
Gandalf.
Galandalf the fairy and Elphaba, the Wicked Witch, they were friends at some period of time.
I'm sorry. The names. Her name is just the word alphabet and they missed a bit. That's all I think every time I hear it.
Really? I didn't clock that once.
It's all I hear.
I wonder, was that the original name? Was she ever called that?
I don't think she even gets a name in the...
I have the
Oz.
book of Wizard of Oz.
You have 1900 book?
It's thick. It is a thick...
Oh, really?
Look at
Okay.
my hand.
That's thick. Jet's
giving-
holding like a large Kathmandu water bottle. And they're not. I'm trying to give you an image at home. Like a large bottle.
But my hand... Notice how my hand's shaking?
It's shaking.
Because of
it's
how
so
thick and heavy the book is.
There's too much coconut milkshake in this water bottle.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. Parallel metaphors. Maybe we can get somewhere with this.
I'll give you your milkshake in a bottle.
Whoa.
I'll shake your milk.
There it is.
Turn you green.
We put it in my yank bank after you shake my milk?
No, leave the yank bag alone. We left that last week. So, what was I saying? I had the original
I'm like, how
book.
far back do you want to rewind?
There are multiple
Just one
volumes
step, okay.
of The Wizard of Oz. I got this because I really liked the movie Oz the Great and Powerful when I was a kid. And I was like, I should read this. And then I got the book and I got like a couple of pages in and I was like, this is boring as fuck. Because apparently the Wizard of Oz, that whole story, it's very long, very elaborate, and there's many, many different stories going on. The Wizard of Oz is just like a short,
bit.
kind of like The Lion, Witch of the Wardrobe is just a short bit of Narnia, the Chronicles. So, in this, basically, we have Elphaba. She's green. She's a green person.
I think it's a metaphor.
For?
Various vaguely defined forms of racism.
Yeah. Won't be the only vaguely defined form of racism that we have in this show. And then we have Galandalf the Good, and they come together. She's like rich. That's her thing. She's Elle Woods.
Right.
She's the Elle Woods.
She is,
Literally.
of popular, wealthy, kind of nails it at school but kind of doesn't try.
Preppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both go to boarding school. This, whatever the Wizard of Oz version of boarding school is, Hogwarts. They go to Hogwarts.
They do. They literally go to Hogwarts.
It's basically Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And then they get by...
She even got Umbridge.
Yeah, they room together. They're put in the same dormitory, and they have to become friends. And then they become friends, and then you have the song "Popular" that everyone loves. Popular, you're gonna be popular. You know that one?
Yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There are 2 good songs in this that stuck in my head.
Okay, interesting. I was going to ask how many songs you remembered, because I had a total of 5.
The 2 that I heard before this.
Okay, so none.
Yeah, it's that one, and it's what's the other? The end of Act 1 one. Where she's doing a big rise in the sky.
Defying Gravity?
Defying Gravity. That one's really good.
That one's good. It's got a lot of, like many musical songs, like stops in it that make sense on stage because the story's happening. But I was imagining haven't listened to it, but I was imagining listening to it afterwards and being like, nah, like pacing-wise, it keeps coming back down. And I'm like, I think I want a song like that to just go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-bam.
Yeah, keep going up. Yeah.
But we'll see when I actually listen to it.
Yeah. Okay. How much? Let's talk some non-spoilers because
Alright,
I do want to
non-spoilers.
delve into spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got to
For
talk
sure.
about this thing because it's bonkers.
Now you wrote notes.
I got so many notes I have to scroll, like two
Reuben-
full scrolls to get through this.
Sorry, you're doing a bit of coughing. Have you got a chest infection?
Nah, never heard of it.
Okay. Chest infector. Never
Heard of her.
Never heard of her. It was my birthday, so I didn't write notes. That's
Don't
my
worry, I got you.
justification.
Do you want to go through my notes and just see what sparks your interest?
I feel like, oh yeah, all right.
Because there's no time for me to go through them all. That's boring. No one likes listening to someone read a list.
Okay, you say too much at the start.
Yep.
What does that mean?
That means there's too much. It starts like where the end of The Wizard of Oz ends, which is like the Wicked Witch is dead and everyone's celebrating and asking the good Gandalf about it.
Yeah.
It's too much. There's too many characters on stage. There's too much noise. We're jumping straight to the end because they want to do the thing where they start at the end, go back through the story, and then recontextualize the end. But there's just too much.
We know the
I was
Wizard
like,
of
yuck,
Oz.
yuck, too much happening.
We actually don't, we don't need that.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. Not in a fun way.
They could have shortened it to like, at the end of Heathers starts with the end of Heathers.
Does it?
Yeah, there's a big, do you not remember this?
I've seen it so many times.
We have
Twice in the movie.
Veronica and JD. I
Yeah.
don't think it's in the movie, but in
don't
the
think so.
musical. They're on the stage and they, JD like stumbles off stage and there's a bomb sound, a big boom. And then Veronica turns around and says, 1989, September, dear,
okay. I remember the Dear Diary.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the boom, or I did,
You know
but I
what?
had
That
forgotten.
could have been a thing that just we did for our production. But that's also the production that you've seen
That's the
twice.
one I've seen the most.
Yeah. But they could have done something like that, whereas like,
Yep.
just have the chorus sing The Wicked Witch is dead.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's all you need. Kind of lacks specificity.
Are we going through every note? Don't do this. Just scan.
Okay. Well,
We can go through all of my notes if you want, but it's your section.
here's the thing. I can't read that fast.
Sure.
Um,
Okay, I'll keep talking about the start.
yeah.
Because then where it goes immediately after the start is great, because it takes us right back to the other end of the story, when they very first meet. And, I mean, one of them's green, but other than that, they don't look like witches at all. There's so many subtle costume changes in this that just keep happening until by the end you're like, wait, she's in a cape and a hat and a broomstick?
Apparently, Gandalf,
Yeah.
the good, had 1 billion costume changes.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this.
I started to see them towards the end.
Yeah.
Because because she's always in like a big white dress, but then start looking, you're like, oh my God, that's different hair again.
Because she was in a big grey dress before that. But then she became pure and became Gandalf the White.
There's so many. Because like she starts off in like the summer break coming back to school costume. Yeah. Look, while you scan, I'm a level with you. My expectations were quite low for the Broadway Wizard of Oz prequel musical. I thought, what story is there to tell here? It's going to be bad. I was really surprised by how good it was and how much meaning there was and also how much I cared about the 2 main characters. Who also, can I address this briefly, are gay as fuck.
Yeah.
This is another one of those stories where it's like, look at these 2 best friends who had a wonderful time and maybe they had some fallings out and also they lived in the same room. I'm sorry, no.
Nah, they're gay. Like, you don't...
So gay.
I thought it was maybe gonna do... Because there's a love triangle in this.
Classic. Love triangle where all the corners touch, which
That's
is what
what
we
I
like
wanted.
to see.
If we just had one scene where Gandalf and Elphaba kissed, all the triangles would touch.
Yeah.
And that would be great.
Yeah.
That would actually make this work 100% for me. Now, while I've been looking over your notes.
Yep.
And it really looks... Is that what you meant by another closet story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the line, the witch in the wardrobe.
Yeah. Here at
no,
Stitched
that's
It,
just the
we love
wardrobe.
telling closet stories from our podcast closet.
Yes, we do. We're constantly in the closet.
Always. But also out of the closet. But we just choose to hang out here on our days off.
Well, we made it so nice while we were in it for so long.
Oh.
So we were like, well, let's go back in there every once in a while, relive the old memories of being stuck in a closet. No, what I was going to say was looking over your notes. It's pretty harsh. You don't look like you like this.
I
babe.
really liked it.
Yeah.
What do they say? I have no idea what I wrote.
There are 2 bad endings. You said this is actually brutal.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about the 2? Oh, we're not doing spoilers yet, are we?
No, you said
Put a pin in those 2 bad endings.
Okay.
And then put a pin in them again repeatedly. Stab them, all right? I want them bleeding from multiple stab wounds, okay? More pins. If in doubt, impale it again. 2 bad endings.
You say, do I not like musicals?
I don't know when I said that.
I feel
I think that was your thing of like, they're ramping up into a song. I actually just want them to keep doing this great play.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was that. And even when some songs happened, I would be like, oh, now they're doing a singing. I just want the story to keep happening.
This is why I like sung through musicals, because they are constantly sung through, even if it is talk singing.
Yeah.
It's keeping the momentum going. And you can slow the momentum through talk singing, through going through very slow songs. And then ramp it right up. You know, Hamilton, for example, if you have a big rap battle, if you have a big ballad, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not like you're being jostled. Like, it's not like, I don't know, you're in a cabin in the snow.
Am I?
And someone just takes you outside for a bit. And then they bring you back inside, and then they put you outside, then you bring you back inside. It's like, don't you enjoy like the nice warmth of the inside of this beautiful music?
do.
Now look at the snow.
God, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of beautiful if you look at it right.
Now look at it. Now you're back
God,
inside.
It's too warm in here. It's claustrophobic.
Right?
I could get used to it, actually.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But,
Especially when some of the music, not that good. I'll say it.
You can say it. I really like pretty much all of it.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say about it. I need to re-listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
For sure, to solidify. But a lot of the things that I liked about this was the story.
Yes. Which again, shocking.
For non-spoilers, I really like how it wove into the Wizard of Oz. I really like how it provided a lot of extra context for the Wizard of Oz. Like that was probably the most fulfilling part of this for me.
Okay.
I don't think that I could go and watch The Wizard of Oz after this and watch it the same as I have previously.
Yeah.
And not just like a tiny bit, like
fundamentally.
Fundamentally, yeah. Do we want to quickly touch on wizard racism?
Yes. And then spoilers?
Yeah. Yeah, they touch on racism's a big thing in this with Alphabet being green. And then also we have animal.
Bunch of animals. All the animals talk and they are integrated into society.
Except they're starting to not talk.
Uh-oh, what is this, 1936?
Oh, that's what that note was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to not talk and then like become more
They're being
animal-like.
like kicked out of like a university. They can't take teaching roles. There was a couple of other things written on that blackboard that I was trying really hard to read about, like some of their rights being taken away.
There was a timeline.
Yeah.
And I wondered if it connects to the larger story of Oz. Like
Like, is that coming from somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it felt a bit weird to me where I was like why the animal, it was mainly like, why can't they talk anymore?
Yeah.
What is the magic behind that? Which doesn't really get explained unless I missed something.
Did you like it when they were building this subtle, clever metaphor relating to civil rights, and then they had a guy come in with an animal in a cage and a Nazi haircut, just in case you didn't get it?
Yeah, they came in and I was like, so we're doing wizard Nazis again.
Yeah.
What is this, Hogwarts?
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
What is this, The Sound of Music?
Oh, nice.
Don't think about it too much. There's no wizards.
I won't. Yeah, I don't know. It was, but overall, it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I like. It will be up there. Oh, okay.
Oh, we have to.
Here's the thing.
We have to put this on the list.
Because we're doing spoilers next, so let's rank it. Let's put it on our.
Let's rank it.
Let's put it on our musical tier list from last week.
Jett is going to bring up the tier list. If you have no idea what we're talking about, welcome to your first episode of Stinishedit. Maybe consider going back and checking out the last episode, because we spent the whole time just ranking musicals in an extremely arbitrary manner.
So, okay, for me, this is going up pretty high.
Yeah.
On the list.
This is really good.
I think is it an A or is it an S?
It's not an S.
It's not an S?
I was going to say, is it an A or is it a B?
The world building stuff is doing a lot of heavy lifting for me.
Yeah, as opposed to like in the other musicals that you really like, it's more like the music itself or the production design or the lyricism or something?
No,
like, what do you mean?
no.
Oh, you mean it's doing a lot of heavy lifting successfully
Yeah.
and well, and the other things are also good.
Yeah. But I think when I think of like Hamilton or less Legally Blonde, I think I'm more thinking of Hamilton or Come From Away, like the world. I don't know.
What's in A?
Currently in A, Sound of Music, The Lion King, Spelling Bee, Mamma Mia, Matilda, Rocky Horror, and Sister Act. I would put it in A.
That's where I'd be putting it.
All right, Wicked's going A.
That was remarkably simple.
Brilliant. All right, skip ahead.
A-tier musicals.
Skip ahead if you don't want to hear any spoilers for Wicked.
Yes, there'll be a time code and you can go straight to the up and up section.
Yeah, but let's get into it. So this connected to The Wizard of Oz way more than I thought.
Way more than I expected, even to the point of The Wizard of Oz starts and ends during I thought it was prequel, but it's like prequel and during and after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was prequel at the start because we have the Wicked Witch is dead. So yeah, it's like, we're starting at the end, we're literally bookending it. But I just still thought that it would go up until The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
And then stop.
Same.
It'd be a prequel, but it's not. Like 2/3 in it starts running in tandem with The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
How did you feel about this?
Surprised. And then fine.
Yeah.
I thought, kind of both in the part where it was running tandem, but also beforehand, I thought that I would hate all the connections, all the prequel-y bits, and there was maybe even more of those than I expected. Like, who's this lion? The lion. Oh, who's this who is the Wicked Witch's sister's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Tin Man.
Yeah.
They kind of worked for me, which is weird, because even when I say that, I'm like, boo. But I don't know. They trick you into it.
They did the Han Solo. This is how Han got his gun with.
Yeah.
Here's how the Wicked Witch got her hat.
I was super aware. When that happened, I was like, I know exactly what Jett's going to have to say about
Yeah.
that. Now, did we know previously that Elphaba was so keen to get the shoes because her sister got crushed by Dorothy's house and they were the last thing she was wearing? Or did we just think she was after some nice shoes? Did she ever fly through the sky screaming, give my sister shoes back? Or was that all new information?
No.
It was all new to me.
Because my mum during intermission was like, I think that the sister of the Wicked Witch, what's her name? Narcissa? No, that's the Harry Potter one. Nessa. Sorry.
Same
different.
character, basically.
I think that isn't she like the Wicked Witch of the East? And I was like, is she? And she's like, yeah, because they were sisters, the Wicked Witches, weren't they? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, so I think that she's the person that gets crushed. And I was like, maybe, Mum, maybe. Yeah, no, my mum called it. She had the information. So I guess we did know that she was after the shoes, because Dorothy does just nick the shoes from apparently the Wicked Witch who's dead. But also, like, we never see the Wicked Witch of the East. We just hear the Munchkins, like, laughing over a dead body. Also, like, it's funny. Yeah, Dorothy just nicks them. So we do have the Wicked Witch chasing after her for them. But I don't think, I mean, it could be assumed, hey, those are my sister's shoes. That's why I want them back. But I think it's more like they're a magical object.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't want in the hands of a good person.
Yeah.
Keep it in my evil family or whatever. Yeah. So we have that connection. I mean, they straight up, I was surprised with how brazen the wizard was, just popping out from behind the big
you know the big reveal at the end of Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
We're just going to do that 2 or 3 times.
Well, great practical effect with that.
Yeah.
The head looked great.
Yeah.
There were some really cool practical effects in this.
The number of, like, things that they rolled in through the background, that just casually, but I was thinking about, like, how do they even fit them backstage, let alone pay for them? Like, when Nessa gets crushed by a tornado house, they just roll in for the duration of one, like, 90-second scene, like a crashed house and a bunch of, like, flowers in the cornfield, and, like, the yellow brick road is just off stage. Like, they just have that sitting there for the whole other, like, 3 hours of this play. Crazy.
Is it for, like,
That's
2
crazy
minutes?
To me. I was watching, I'm like, is this the most Broadway show I've seen in terms of, like, excess scale? Because like I've seen a lot that I feel like do it in a minimalist way, like Hamilton will come from away.
Hamilton's, I get,
Yeah, costume wise,
that's
very detailed.
I was going to say set wise.
Yeah, yes, but also no.
They have the rotating thing that rotates multiple ways.
Yeah.
They have the big, like, it's mostly, it is all set in the same place. It feels like an old, American shipping dock kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's very maximalist in the amount of stuff that they have going on.
Sure.
But this, you're right, they roll in a lot of things and roll out a lot of things. Like there's a lot of set changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I think it's meant to be a bubble, but there's like a weird mechanical circle.
I hated the bubble.
Oh, I'm so glad you also hated the bubble.
But then,
Awful, right?
then I felt better about the bubble.
Why?
And let me explain. Let me explain why. So we see this the Galenda the Grey, comes down. He's like, "Hello, I am Galenda the Good Witch. The Wicked Witch is dead. Fuck that good evil witch. I hated Alphaba the bitch. Anyways, I'll see y'all munchkins later." She's gone back to Grey at this point because she's now evil and has done which is good. It doesn't matter.
She's just mad that she got dumped, okay?
Yeah. And she comes down in the bubble. She's like, "Don't look too closely at this bubble. It's definitely not a big crane holding me up. It's a big crane. It's a big crane with a big circle. It's not bubble machine. I'm making these bubbles with my magic wand. I swear. It's bubble machines. I didn't like it because I was like, that is not a bubble.
No.
They were able to do it in like freaking 1939 or whatever they did The Wizard of Oz, the movie, and made it look like a bubble.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do some sort of practical effect.
I think just put her on a harness.
I think put a big bubble around it.
Yeah.
Like, those big like hamster ball things?
Sing.
Yeah, probably air's an issue, right?
Right.
But still.
Put holes in the back of it, small ones.
Later on, I felt a bit better about it.
Okay.
Because as she's, accepted this role and she's like, okay, I'll be on the side of the wizard. And then she sort of opposes the wizard in that, I don't know, morals are weird. She accepts the wizard's help to make her prop up as the new witch to rule over all other people in the land. So I thought, that bubble, we've all understood it as a like a literal bubble, but actually it's one of the wizard's mechanisms.
Right.
That it's like, she's floating around in this bubble thing because she's a wizard and she's a witch and she can do that. She's not.
Just a fabrication. Okay,
She
I
actually
like that.
doesn't really have any powers
I like that.
because she doesn't have that je ne sais quoi that alphabet does. I said alphabet.
No, you're never going to unthink it. I also think the bubble was one part of why it was too much at the start because it's not contextualized yet. So it's just this like weird industrial modern art piece hanging in the middle of the stage. And it's like the second thing you see. Just too much, but enough. Sorry. I'll stop talking about that. I like that framing of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, you
I
just
bumped
smashed the table.
I smashed it.
All right.
There was a few nights ago.
No, list things.
Where she got, 1, 2, 3 nights ago, I think it was the Friday night.
That was awful.
4 nights ago, that is. I think it was the Melbourne show. The bubble got stuck up in the air. And so she did her bows from up there. It was right at the end. Yeah. There's a great video of it. We might link to it in the description.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
That's so
it's funny.
Just on the set design and things like that, it was great, and it was really cool how much they harkened back to that original Wizard of Oz movie styling, but also sometimes not in a pleasant way. Like there's a bit where like the 3 Humpty Dumptys are just jumping around on stage, and then their like heads lift out of their neck, and they got like weird spring heads.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying. It feels like an old like 30s, 20s circus thing, and it's gross.
Yeah.
And their smiles are gross.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad.
It makes me feel
inside.
real bad, but I was like, I guess people found this entertaining back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool and added to the authenticity because at some points I was like, I felt transported back to that time.
Wow, you felt transported back to 100 years ago.
Yeah, I'm 102.
Wow, that explains a lot, actually.
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't know. What do you think it's supposed to mean?
I think you're saying I look old.
Nah, I'm saying you give old vibes. You don't, actually. You really don't. If either of us does, it's me.
Speaking of old vibes, these morals that these people have in this with all the racism. I still don't get why the animals.
Yeah, you went on. This
talk.
was the only thing you could talk about afterwards, and I was like, it doesn't matter, but none of it matters. So all of it matters. But I was like, why does this bother you so much?
But what bothered me Someone brought this up to me before seeing the show. They said with the Melbourne show, the person that they have playing Alphaba, while great, is not a person of color. And Alphaba should be played by a person of color. And I was like, oh, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
After seeing the show, I'd agree with that. Nessa, her sister, is played by a person of color. And that, like, it feels like you should, I don't know. If you're like, oh, well, like, it feels like Alphaba's meant to be. Alphaba and Nessa are both meant to be played by people of color.
Yep.
And they did it with Nessa. And they're like, oh, but this person's really good as Alphaba, so we'll just keep it as a white person. This is no shade on the person. But on the person who played Alpha. I'm sorry.
Well, there is a green shade on them, like a very strong green shade.
Very strong. She was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But with the movie that's coming out.
In 2 parts, no less. Oh, my God.
Which I appreciate.
Right.
But
it's going to be surely it's going to be longer than the musical in total.
No,
I guess
not. It's like a 3-hour musical.
Yeah.
It's 1.5 hours each thing.
Yeah, but there's no way. You keep talking. You keep talking about your
I think
very
they can
good
pad it
points
out with
about things.
extra stuff. But
Out with extra things.
like, I don't know. I'm glad that the Hollywood movie is going the route of having a person of color play Alphaba. Yeah. Have you found the
Does
link?
not yet have a runtime.
Thank goodness.
Because you were going to be so wrong. They're both going to be. I'm going to place a bet right now. Wicked Part 1 and 2 are both going to be longer than an hour 45. That's my guess.
I'm kind of bummed that the movie's coming out.
Why?
Because I would have loved to have gate-kept this.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we're latecomers and we're just on board because the movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying at the end of the spoiler-free section, this changes everything about The Wizard of Oz. So we have the stories running in tandem, but that also means like we have scenes with with Alphaba, the Wicked Witch, from The Wizard of Oz, where her motivations are completely flipped.
Yep.
Like she's just like she's not just hunting the ruby slippers, or she wants the ruby slippers because they're her sisters, or she's just having to play evil so that she can get to this goal of escaping. Also, her not dying, which I think was set up very well, because you have all of these characters having rumors about her, being like, it felt very Hamilton demo. I hear he's George Washington's son. I hear that he wants to abolish slavery. That one's actually true. Like it was like, there were rumors swirling, and it's like, I hear that she can melt when a drop of water gets on her. We see her in the rain, and someone say, it was
the teacher lady.
What's her name? Not a real name, the Harry Potter one.
Umbridge.
The Umbridge character.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's an umbrella because you're getting wet. So she knows that Alphaba can get wet. Like she's just green.
Okay. I didn't clock that one. That's really good.
Yeah. So we know that Alphaba survives wetness, but we see her in The Wizard of Oz die from that. So I still was like, oh, she's dead. I guess I guess that rumor was true.
Yeah.
I guess, hey, a stop clock is wrong most of the times of the day, except for those 2 times when it's right.
Nice save.
Thank you. So it's like, I guess it's one of the truths. And
to be fair, the musical opens with basically the lines, the witch is dead. So, they're leading you down a certain path.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, when she came back, I was still surprised.
Yes, same. Can I talk about the 2 bad endings?
Yeah.
They did some of the worst things that a follow-up, a prequel or sequel can do. They did secret family member the whole time, and they did not dead the whole time. And I feel like if you stop this musical 4 minutes earlier, I enjoy it much more.
What was the secret family member the whole time?
She's the wizard's daughter.
Oh!
Why?
Oh, I forgot about that. To make the wizard look like a worse person. And to become to become a better person in the future, because that's why he helps all those people in The Wizard of Oz. No, because that happens in this.
But isn't it better if someone does something out of the goodness of their heart and because of a genuine change, rather than like, oh, that was my family member, now I feel sad. I don't know, I hated it.
I don't know, everyone needs a kick in the guts every once in a while.
Yeah, but he got kicked in the guts when he lost his whole job and whatever happened. I just think it's unnecessary. It pollutes things and confuses it. Then they're adding all this thing about 2 vials and why Alphaba's green and stuff. Just, boo. Didn't like it. Distracting, confusing, bad.
It didn't irk me too much, but I think that there's probably some good way that it intertwines that I just
Probably,
haven't.
but I just hated it.
Yeah, that's
Because
fair.
then we're already doing like 2 endings, and then that was a 3rd ending, and then there was a 4th ending, and I was like, stop.
They had to wrap up everything.
But they didn't have to add stuff just so that they could say we had to wrap this up. It's like, no, you invented this thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's fine. Good musical.
I like that Umbridge was the person to. It was like a bad joke. The thing that it's like, oh, this is how she got her hat. You're like, ugh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how she got this. Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, this is the line from this. Oh, and this character is the Tin Man from. And this character is the Scarecrow
Yeah.
from. Ugh. But after a while, I was like, fuck yeah, give me another thing. Give me another thing. So when Umbridge came out and she's like, I can do hurricanes. I'm going to drop a house on your sister. I was like, yes.
Yeah, you are.
Let's justify literally everything. What it felt like to me is, do you know there's a comic that is I think it's it's a Star Wars comic. What is it called when it's not canon anymore?
Legends?
Moob. That's the opposite of boom.
Reverse the canon.
Yeah. Legends, it's these 2 characters who are 2 stormtroopers who are kind of like bumbling idiots a bit.
Oh, and they've caused every major thing. And yeah. That's a fun one.
It tracks them over the periods of all of Star Wars, basically, and they inadvertently cause the events to happen. It's also similar to the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Yeah, very much so.
This play about the characters Rosencrantz and Guildenstern from Hamlet. And how they sort of inadvertently cause all of the events of Hamlet to happen, people dying and all allegiances switching and stuff like that. And it's very comedic and funny. This felt like that for The Wizard of Oz.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Whereas I didn't realize, but I thought this was a real simple story. But apparently there's all this fun, there's this fun, little romp going on in the background that we just never knew about. And now we get to see that.
I agree that it's going to be very weird now to watch Dorothy wandering down the yellow brick road with the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, knowing like one of those is the Wicked Witch's brother-in-law and the other one is like her secret lover. Like, it's going to be just weird.
It's going to be strange. It also I feel like when you watch The Wizard of Oz, you're like, oh, this place has been around. Like this is a well-established kingdom.
Yep.
Well-established system. No, apparently just in the past 2 weeks, everything has been uprooted.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun. It feels a bit disheartening in some ways because you're like, oh, I thought this was a whole thing, and I guess it's not. I thought the Scarecrow was hanging there for years.
That one is a weird one where I'm like, oh, these traits about these characters feel so fundamental, and it's like, no, I was a regular human until like last night.
Yeah,
But also, whatever.
It's good. I stand by the A rating.
ATM musical.
ATM musical. Would I see it again? Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I think I'd want to see it again to get more out of it.
Yeah. Interesting. I want to listen to the music and decide whether I actually like it or not.
Sure.
But I enjoyed it as an experience, going to it and seeing it all happen. It's fun.
Are we going to go see the movie
Well, I wasn't. I had zero interest.
now?
Not zero interest.
Did you hear that Ariana Grande's song Popular is in it?
I did not.
Yeah. She was popular. You're gonna be popular. I am gonna end off the good, and I'm gonna make you pretty. That's how the song goes. Download it on Spotify now.
I guess we'll pay money to see the Wicked
I'm gonna do
musical part 1.
Should we move on to the next section?
Yeah, let's do it.
What is it?
It's you pour me more drink,
Oh, all right. Here you go. Here's more drink.
closely followed by the section Up and Up.
Every time I'm bringing it up, I'm talking about up and up. Not the theme song.
I'll start. Last week I finished Chef.
God, this. You know what needs a chef? This drink. Give me a mixologist.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you want to add or take away? Firstly, I want to take away almost half of it. There's too many flavors and textures in here. But would you add anything?
Would I add anything? Maybe. It feels like something you could add ice to.
I was about to say, would you add ice and or dates?
I think I'd add ice and maybe a liquor. I feel like maybe you could, I was going to say rum. That's wrong.
brandy.
Whiskey? Oh, brandy. Yeah, you could put a brandy in there. Not bad. Wait, what are you following up? Oh, the chef.
You got to stop talking and make me talk, or else I'm going to drink all of
Okay,
this
talk
again.
about
I'm almost
Chef.
finished. I was thinking about Chef. I was very mean about Chef.
Yeah.
I came on here and listed all the things I don't like about Chef. And I've been thinking like, yeah, while I have quibbles with it, it's the thing that there should be more of. Just like an earnest, heartfelt, original thing that someone made. And that's good, and we should celebrate that. Because everything is a prequel, sequel, remake, reboot, redo, legacy sequel. Just make something.
How about this? Prequel to Chef in the style of The Bear, and it's Jon Favreau's character in that kitchen while he's first there and cooking all the good food before he gets all disheartened.
See, you say that, and I'm like, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I watched that, right?
This is why you can never like anything.
I know.
Because then you're in the system of it.
Yeah, they might make a prequel that runs at the same time as it starts off a prequel and then becomes the same thing, but the background of the thing that you
Because
like.
it's the story of how Jon Favreau's character and Dustin Hoffman's restaurant owner originally fell out, even though they ended up working together. And then in the second and third act, it's following what Dustin Hoffman is doing when Jon Favreau's character Carl is on the road in the truck.
Yeah, because he's got to deal with. He's like, I've got
Better
to be head
idea.
chef.
It's just Robert Downey Jr.'s marriage to...
Better idea. Jon Favreau's dead, and the son has to take over the business. And turns out, son isn't a good cook.
But it's in the style of Godfather Part 2 and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, where it's cut between the future and the past.
And Cher
so we
pops up.
see... And Cher arrives in a helicopter towards the end.
Yeah,
So
and
we
they said,
see
no,
Jon Favreau...
I texted Robert Downey Jr. I said, get me a chef, but I mistyped and I said, get me a Cher. And now hyper wealthy Robert Downey Jr. has airdropped me a Cher.
But I just need someone to make cubanos in this food truck. It's one of the only things she can't do. Renowned international artist Cher.
I don't like Cher. Get out of here, Cher. Bad in Mamma Mia Part 2. Mamma Mia Part Poo.
I will accept that in the extremely specific context of Cher's performance.
Okay.
But watch yourself.
I'll watch myself. I want to follow up on our tier list.
Okay.
Because
So do the listeners, but they haven't had a chance yet. We'll hear from them any second now.
the list we were using didn't include the musical Six.
Outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. S tier.
Borderline disgust. S tier.
S tier musical.
You're coming in this with so much ferocity.
I'll tell you why. I'll
Okay,
tell you
you
why.
tell me why.
It's a short musical.
Yeah.
It's basically a concert.
Okay.
It's a pop concert. It's a Okay. Now, you might not have thought of this before, but what if you got 3 different quadrants, right? Fans of pop music.
Yep.
Fans of musicals.
Yep.
And fans of history.
Yep.
Now, you might think, well, 6 won't work because in the middle of those quadrants, you'd have barely any people. But no, just if you like one of them, it can work. It can work as a performance. No one's ever done it before.
You've taken the molten liquid of my words. You have hardened it and tempered it in the flames of your passion. And you've turned it around and you've stabbed me with my own words.
Yeah.
Because now I can't say you're wrong because I don't look like Hamilton anymore. Fuck you, buddy!
Dude, I haven't been to a musical before where at the end, everyone's standing up and cheering and dancing.
Yeah, you haven't been to Mamma Mia, I know. But tell me about 6.
Very good. Very good.
That was actually something I forgot to say that I was going to follow up on. I was I didn't say this about it, but like every single, like the old grandmas are dancing. But sorry, 6, tell me.
Yeah, no, same thing. But also, this is not music that you already know.
I was
and
going to
love.
say, it's kind of more impressive when it's not a jukebox.
Yeah. Well, this isn't. Oh, yeah. When it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really phenomenal. Also, like, came out of nowhere. Isn't from Andrew Lloyd Webber or the other guy.
Points for that.
You know. It subverts expectations. It's a battle. Like the whole thing is a pop singing show. What are those shows called? Where like The Voice and all of that.
Yeah, pop sing shows. What are those shows called? Like The Voice.
It's like a competition sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of it's that, like, it's just framed in a really funny, interesting way. The costume design is crazy. They have a band on stage the whole time as well, doing the music. Like, it isn't an orchestrated thing. No, you have the 6, and then you have a band of people. Also, when I saw it, it was like all women, and I think that consistently it's like all women throughout the whole thing, like including the band. And I don't know, that was really cool to see. It was just like a celebration of femininity in the face of like fucked masculine patriarchy that is Henry VIII. S tier.
Maybe I should see 6.
It's coming back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, this
Great.
year. I'm forcing my mum to see it.
Yeah,
She's
cool.
going to love it.
Cool.
You're coming along.
All right.
Excellent. I'm not paying for your ticket though.
I'll give it a, damn it.
Yeah.
I'll give it a provisional S tier.
Provisional S. Nice. S for nice.
Yeah. S for nice. Nessa.
Vanessa.
Which of the Vanessa.
That's going to hit a very few people.
Yeah,
like very few people very, very well.
Yep. And everyone else?
They're hitting the minority there.
That's right.
What?
I don't know.
Animals.
Yeah.
You're putting animals in cages.
Animal cruelty. Well, I am renowned for killing dogs, so it's only a small step from there to, everything else.
A Nazi haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm coming up on the show Fallout.
You're going to watch Fallout?
Apparently.
Apparently.
My dad's been talking to me enough about it that I need to just relent.
Okay. Now, you haven't played the games.
I have. I played
You've
Fallout
played the
4.
games?
Yeah, I played like 70, 80 hours of Fallout 4.
Okay.
I'm barely into it. Barely into the story. I've just walked around the wasteland. So this is when it first came out in like 2016 or whatever. And I spent a lot of hours doing nothing. Same with Skyrim. I spent a lot of hours doing nothing. So I know the story-ish. Well, no, I know the setting-ish.
Nuclear Fallout, people involved crazy monks and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I've heard really good things.
Is the video game adaptation curse over?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it has been for a couple of years now.
Well, and then it'll come back.
Oh, well, if you make enough stuff, some of it's going to be bad. And then if you look at just the bad bits, you can say, this is bad now. Like superhero movies.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you look at enough bad ones, you're like, wait, we've forgotten how to do this. And then you're like, but if you look at just the good ones, they're in the best era for it ever. So,
And a Tom Holland Jack is going to kick that off, I reckon.
Oh, the awful ones.
Yeah, we're going to have a short period of good video game media.
adaptations.
And then
we get...
Chris Pratt as Daxter is going to ruin it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to...
That's such a poor choice.
I know. I'm going to, because it's on Amazon, I'll find a
Friend with an eye patch?
yeah. A sea-friendly mate. And get
Talk
them
like a
to find
Pirate
it.
Day, September 19th. It's around the corner, just saying.
Boo. What? That's so many months away.
I always miss it. I'm not missing it this year, okay? So it's around the corner. I'm not missing this.
Hey, listeners, September 19th, did you say? If you're around Reuben on that day, do not mention it. I want this motherfucker missing it another year in a row. How many years you missed it? Every year?
Oh, at least, I reckon I probably found out about it at least 4 years ago.
Great. Let's make it 5 years in a row, baby. Let's go. What's our next segment?
Our next section is mail. We got an email.
And
You got an email from it? Because I got an email. The thing that happens when you do 3 podcasts in a week is people don't get a chance to send in the mail.
Did you have a chest infection?
I've never heard of it. But I do have this live eel in my throat. Oh my God, do you want it?
That's disgusting.
It's like I put it in this empty glass because I finished my drink again.
You're gonna put it in a... What's with you putting animals in cages?
So I'm just getting out my clippers.
No. Whoa.
I'm putting them to my head.
I thought you were putting them to your mustache. You got clippers, but there's you got no clippers in the middle bit?
Yeah.
Real quick and easy. One swipe, you're there. Oh, what are we talking about?
Jesus Christ.
So have you let Liam out for his weekly walk? Is that no mail this
No,
week?
he's been locked in a cage
Oh.
for the week that we recorded 3 podcasts in. And also I think I'm going to keep him in the cage.
All right.
Also, he's losing the ability to speak. It's going to make the mail section really difficult to do.
Great. All right. In that case, shall we wrap up the show?
We should wrap up the show.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Stinishedit. If you enjoyed it, you can tell a friend about the podcast. We always enjoy that.
We love that.
I love hearing someone else come up to me and say, hey, I love your podcast. And I say, who are you?
I love it when I'm at a social event and I get ambushed by someone who says, hi, Reuben, I love the podcast. And when you were talking about this, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I met you today, just now, about half a second after you started talking.
And the funny thing is, I can often not remember what they're claiming I've talked about. It's like, remember when you talked about Catcher in the Rye. I'm like,
Never read that in my life.
No, I don't think I've even held the book in my hand at any point. Like, what?
I was too busy carrying the Wizard of Oz around. It's bigger than you think.
It's way bigger than you think.
And they'll say, I know, I listened to the episode. And you're like, of course sorry, that's weird to get used to given that I've just met you. I thought we were starting with a clean slate.
Yeah.
But we're starting with this weird parasocial marionette relationship. Mm-hmm. Just because I'm the puppet here, because you know everything about me and I know nothing about you.
Anyways,
This is a conversation that I have had.
If you want to create more experiences like that, just keep telling friends about the podcast. If you want to do something, if you don't have any friends, you can just tell us.
First of all, you
it.
have 2 friends. We love you very much and we know your name. And this is a real authentic friendship.
You're feeding into it, aren't you?
Yeah.
God. No wonder you trap so many animals
That's how we
in
keep
cages.
people listening. It's all just animals and it's all just traps.
You pretend to be so sweet to get them close.
You know, people draw these distinctions. That one's a human. You know, that one's a cat. You know, that one's a giraffe. It's all basically the same functions at work. You know,
I'm gonna move
you
on.
bait them, you capture them, and then you shave your head.
Give us a review on your podcast app of choice. You can rate us 5 stars. If you leave a review, we might stumble upon it and find it. If we stumble upon it and find it, we'll read it out on the podcast. If you want to follow us on socials, you can follow us stinishedit on Instagram, stinishedit on TikTok. If you want to,
We got all the handles. No one else wanted the name stinishedit.
wild,
Funny
right?
that.
It's such a hot thing. I checked the URL though.
Yeah?
Don't have it.
God.
Someone has it. You
Yep.
can buy it.
Yep.
$66,000.
Wait, actually?
No, I'm lying. I just lied to your face.
No, you did.
Yeah. See, I'm upfront about it.
Okay, I see how it is.
You're
the wizard.
I'm Galandolf. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You're right.
Jesus. If
It's Gadget.
stop it, I'm trying to outro the show.
Sorry.
If you want to get in touch, if you want to send us a little message, if you want to tell us what you thought about Wicked, if you've seen it, if you're excited for the movie, if you wanted to tell us that you've played Jak X, if you're one of the very
No
few that
one
have.
has played Jak X.
I'm just putting it out there just in case, okay?
Okay.
You can email us, stinishedit@gmail.com. Thank you to Hetty Moysey for our lovely, lovely podcast art. And that'll do us for the week.
Can't wait till next week when we harken back to this episode.
Yeah, okay, fuck. I'm sick of it. Ugh. Can I? No, they won't know. Just a quick aside.
Oh, yeah. It's all right, the mics are off.
I've been crouching this whole time. I've been terrified that you put another whoopee cushion. I was basically shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I was trying to throw you off before when you're
Now that
have you
we're
ever
done-
seen 2 whoopee cushions?
Can
was
I
like,
sit
no.
down?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, motherfucker!